Hey yo, happy Friday, y'all. Or as my one of my most recent white chicks used to say, "Happy Friday." I don't know where she got that from. I think it's common nowadays. Anyway, shit. Hey, shout out to y'all. Thanks for tapping in. Should be an interesting stream. I'm back on this BS, boxing and BS, so I gotta throw my BS in there every once in a while. So, give y'all some time to get in here. Uh, the StreamYard link is pinned to the top of the chat. So as y'all come in, everyone is welcome. I'm gonna have to kind of moderate it depending on how much traffic we get in here, but yeah, anyone is welcome to speak on this because it's something that anyone can relate to. You come across this channel, you don't care for boxing, well, this stream probably not going to be about that. Trying to focus on relationships in 2025 and how crazy things have gotten, people's expectations of the opposite. We're talking about male, female, of the opposite gender, and yeah, man, I got a lot to cook on, but I want to really bounce some ideas off of other people. So I have invited a few ladies. We'll see if we'll see how many show up, but trying to get some female opinions. This is not one of those what they call red pill channels where I just want to diss women and deride them. I'm really trying to have a genuine conversation over here. So that's the perspective I'm coming from. Granted, at 41, divorced, I have been through a lot, so I have my perspective, but not jaded. I ain't tripping. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right in these Sacramento streets. So yeah, man. That being said, I'm expecting Jackie. I see Kalia's in the chat. Jackie and her homegirls need to pop out. Then I also extended an invitation to my homegirl Lyss, uh, Alyssa from Utah. I subbed to her gaming channel. I'll ask her to drop the link if she pops out. So that's what I'm expecting. Anywhere between 1 and 4 females. I'm trying to balance this stuff out because last time we had a lot of dudes going pretty hard, and I understand it. But yeah, we want to have a balanced level conversation. So y'all, please hit the like and subscribe as you enter the building. We're officially 2 months deep. As of yesterday, I've been doing this shit for 2 months, and I miss y'all when I'm away. I can't front because I know it's been a little hiatus since my last stream. Real life takes priority, but yeah, this is it's starting to get fun, man. I'm enjoying this, so hopefully y'all enjoying the content that I'm putting out here. Turn up my mic a little bit. All right. Okay. Well, if no one wants to hit the link yet, that's cool. I might start with the content. I'm looking at y'all's comments. I see Kalia. Not much of a roll call for now, but I think this might be one of my most entertaining streams. I'll say that because of the content we're going to cover. So shit, if I got to write it solo, y'all know I can do that too. Let's see. We got 3 people. All right. That's not not terrible for a new channel of my size. I ain't tripping. And I got so much shit on my mind. We're gonna talk relationships, so I could talk about boxing, obviously, football, um, some old movies I've been going back to watch, like the Truman Show, all type of shit. Anyway, we focus on relationships today. I can cover whatever I want. It's boxing and BS. I'm gonna throw a lot of BS in here. So let's get started. So our first topic is gonna be. I'm trying to get organized, y'all. I'm making notes. I got a new phone, so I lost all my old shit on my boxing notes I wanted to cover, so I had to make some new ones. But for today, our first topic is what makes a good woman or a good man. Now, obviously, I think we know what women. I mean, I'll let them speak for themselves, but I think I know. I'll speak for myself. What women define as a good man, all the traits they say they want. But I really wanted to put that to the test. But in the meantime, we're gonna explore what a woman thinks to find a good woman. So I'm not even gonna be heavy. Most of the clips I got pulled up are women. You feel me? Because I'm not trying to hear an echo chamber of dudes saying, "Yeah, they ain't shit." That's not the point of this. I really want to explore these relationship dynamics and see where we're at nowadays, and if we can come to some common ground. I guess trying to help people in a way and shit, and help myself understand what's really popping out here. So, 'cause again, I'm 41. I've been through all type of eras. I got started in the 90s, married and divorced in my 20s, went wild in my 30s, and now I'm trying to. I am chilling out in my 40s. So this is what's this woman's name? Courtney Ryan. Just came across her channel today. Not too familiar. I watched most of this to get an idea of where she's going, but so we're gonna cover this first. And again, y'all, the link is pinned. Hop up anytime you want. Let's see if we can go full screen with this. Okay, let's rock.
In my high value man video, if you haven't seen it already, be sure to check it out. But I asked all of you what you think a high value woman is, and your comments were interesting. And I kind of got the gist that everyone kind of has a different idea of what high value is. And mainly it just depends on what your values are. So if you're someone that really values religion, that's something that's very important to you, then you're going to want to look for a woman that also has those values as well, because those are kind of the underlying foundation of how you live your life and what your beliefs are, what your opinions are, and all of that kind of fall under that. So you want to make sure that you're choosing someone at the end of the day that has similar values to you or the same values as you, so that your lives can mesh together well and you guys can help build each other up and all of that good stuff. If you're someone
See, so y'all can see by the clips I'm choosing, this isn't any hate. I agree with that first part of what she said. If religion is important to you, or anything big that like defines you, part of your identity, your values, you definitely want to find someone that's aligned with that. So that is key, because a lot of people want to go off attraction, most off. I'm talking both sides, men and women, and that's not necessarily a formula for a long-term relationship. Obviously, you want to be attracted to your partner, but that shouldn't override all the other shit, all the red flags you might see. Let's continue.
that just wants to live the bachelor life and hookups and all of that kind of stuff, this video isn't really going to be for you, because I don't necessarily think that you need to be looking for high value women, and I don't think high value women typically want to live a life like that anyways. This is more for the guys that are looking for someone to date, someone to settle down with, someone to marry. And if you're someone that wants to do that eventually in your life, that is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. I've seen marriage be the downfall and the rise of so many men. So whichever way you go is going to be dependent on the woman that you choose, and I think it's important to pick a good one. So something to keep in mind. So
Okay. I can agree with her on that point to an extent. The issue I have is that it's not too many quote unquote what she calls high value women in today's market, from my experience. I'm in Cali. Maybe it's different where you live, but I haven't seen a ton out here in these streets nowadays. More back in the 90s and 2000s, but not so much nowadays. But let's keep rocking.
in my high value man video, I said that emotional intelligence, integrity, authenticity, always willing to learn and grow are some of the most important traits that a guy can have to be considered high value. And honestly, I feel like that video is more for just everyone. To be a good human, I think you need to have those things. And so I think it pertains to women as well. So this video is not going to be me giving you bullet points of traits of a high value woman, because I honestly think that a high value woman is all of those things as well. But it's going to be more things to look out for, and things that if you notice this in a girl, how it can result in a good way for you in the end. Just stick with me. It's kind of confusing to explain, but I hope you guys all get a better understanding as I'm going throughout the video. If you haven't already,
I love the ladies, but sometimes you guys can go all the way around the block to get to the apartment next door. I mean, shit. I'm gonna see what she has to say. This is the part where I haven't watched yet, but yeah, I think she's overcomplicating things. Just say these are good things, these are bad things, whatever. You don't gotta do all that. Too much sauce.
be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a big giveaway when I hit 100,000 that I promise you will not want to miss. So hit that subscribe button to stay tuned.
Oh, by the way, I didn't even say fair use. This is
So the first point I want to
hold on. I want to shout out the channel. I'm not trying to get flagged. Courtney Ryan, if I didn't say it before. Shout out to you.
Talk about is self-love and self-respect. I think a high-value woman has this and she's able to create this for herself, and in result will not be depending on you for validation, for her happiness, for the way she feels about herself. I think the women that do that are often the women that are constantly seeking validation from outside sources, from social media, from strangers on the internet, and it never results in anything good for your relationship if she's constantly looking for validation elsewhere, like these Instagram models, the OnlyFans girls. Those are hard girls to date because they're always looking for that validation. They're always looking for something else, and often their happiness depends on that. So I know a lot of times women say, well, I post this for me, I do this for me. But if you were just doing it for you, you would be able to just look at it and be happy with yourself. But if you're posting for everyone to see, you want that validation from other people. So really the point.
Okay, she makes a great point, and I'm gonna wrap up this video with this. Move on, because the numbers are not popping. But again, I'm just finding my footing. I'm experimenting. The last relationship stream did well, and when I have ladies, it goes that much better. But they haven't popped out yet, so I'm gonna keep talking my shit. But I do want to follow up on her point. Absolutely, I told my man Pop, but my issue is, and I can't even put a pinpoint on it, which is why I want to get a woman's perspective. Either I really like 304s, or there's almost nothing out here except 304s, or somewhere in between. Both things can be true, right? But I say that to say, yeah, if she's constantly looking for attention, which I ran into a lot of these types and try to say, I'm a good solid man. Why isn't my attention enough for you? It never worked out. If she's addicted to constant stimulation, that dopamine rush, you're not going to be able to bring her out of that. But this lady is kind of dry. Shout out to you. But we're gonna move on to the next the next thing. I think is a little more interesting. This the premise of this next video is women always say they want a leader, right? But how do they distinguish leadership from being what they call controlling, right? Because I don't think you can have quote unquote one without the other. It's just how you value that man. Like if you respect him, it's leadership. If you don't, he's being controlling. That's my premise going in. We're gonna watch this together. I haven't even seen this one.
So I want to get into, I know we're answering both our questions, but she talked about the difference. What's a leader versus
a controller.
And I'll take a swing at that.
Knock it out.
And try to help
I trust you'll knock it out the park.
I think that as a leader, you have to have a few things, and that's number one, you have to have empathy. You have to be able to be empathetic to understand somebody's, where somebody's coming from. You got to, and that piggybacks with, you also need to have perspective, be able to see things from different point of views, and see where somebody's coming from. And you also have to have the ability to sacrifice. And I heard this in a video, and I think it's a perfect description of a leader, of what leadership is. And leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of the people in your charge.
Say it again. Say it again in the camera.
Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of the people in your charge.
Period.
Okay, so she's being all period and all this 2025 woman shit about it. But no, I agree. And I don't think that good men are looking to just assert control for no reason. I just want to be in charge because I'm the man. No, we're looking at, I speak for myself, and I think most decent dudes, any dude I would consider decent, I'm looking out for the best interest of us as a collective, right? That is the role of leadership in any facet, whether you're leading a team, a coach of a sports team, or in your own home, in any capacity at work. Yeah, it's about making sure everyone benefits, not just me getting what I want. Let's continue.
It's about making sure that the people who you are leading are good and are protected and are cared for. And you have to be empathetic in order to do that. You have to be willing to sacrifice and put yourself on the line in order to make sure that they're good. You have to be okay with them taking the credit and wins and you taking the credit and losses and being responsible for those things.
Okay, I'm not with that. See, that sounds like That sounds like servitude to me. I'll put it that way. No. Yeah, again, the leader is responsible, but it's like, okay, if the wide receiver, juggled the ball and the ball was intercepted, I'm not going to say, I'm going to hold him accountable too. I'll hold both of us accountable, not just, oh, it's all my fault. I should have done better from the sideline. No, I gave you the right instructions, the right training to go out there and run the play for our team. We both need to be accountable. Maybe I could have done better, but you also need to, it's not just you get a free pass because I'm the man and I'm in the leadership role. Let's go.
You have to take things on the chest. You have to be the one that's in the front sometimes that takes more of the beating to make sure that the person is protected. That's what leadership is. It's being in servitude of those who are following you, not being the boss or dictator of those who are.
Shout out to this channel, Relationship Restored. Again, I'm not familiar, but fair use.
Following you.
Hey Dre, check this out. We don't ever do this. We don't ever do this. But when this episode rolls and you go to cut your clip, this is the clip. Okay? This is the clip. And when you cut it, send it to me so I can post it on my page too. Okay? This week I'm posting your clip. Okay? I'll post mine later. That's the clip. That's the clip. I only have one follow-up question to that. How is a leader able to be empathetic? How does a leader go about doing that? Like what do you think that involves or includes?
Like how to become more empathetic.
How to become empathetic to the people that are in your charge?
I think it's a mindset shift. I think coming into whatever position of leadership that you're going into, because all I can think about is myself and how I got to the point to where I'm at versus how I've been in situations where I feel like somebody isn't empathetic. It's about your mindset and desire and intention going into the relationship. For me, it's like I wanted to be the best for Bree. I wanted to be the best man I possibly can be.
Okay, I'll let that play for a while. I'm not really feeling this. I'm gonna let him continue, but I just want to interject real quick and say this: that of course, the woman liked him taking all the accountability. Like, no matter who fucks up, it's the man's fault. Yeah, of course, she would like to hear that. I disagree. I think we're both adults and we both need to play our role to make the relationship function. It can't be all on one person. I've been there before. Trust me. That's a heavy load, and you can't make someone else cooperate with your program, even if you're right. Even if it takes them 10 years to see that you're right, you can't force them to see that you're right in the moment. So he's simping a little bit, in my opinion, just trying to, pander is probably a better word to the ladies and say, even if you fuck up, even if you cheat, it's my fault. I'm not with that. But as far as the empathy part, and that's something either you were raised to have or you don't. Either you're a selfish piece of shit, in my opinion, or you were raised with some morals. And we can see it in the world. You know what I mean? I'm sure we all know people on both sides of that. I'll hold my shit down, look out for the people that I love because I have, I'm a respectable man, and I have values. So I wouldn't feel right in myself. Fuck what anyone else thinks. I wouldn't feel right in myself if I didn't take care of my responsibilities and the ones that I love and supposed to look after.
I wanted to create the best environment that we lived in and create the best environment for our future kids and future and family and all that stuff. So I know going into that, it's not about me being right or her being right. It's us coming together and creating an environment that's healthy and just happy and fun. And that takes me listening to her and understanding what she needs, understanding what she wants. Because as a leader, I have to consider that because, like I said, it's almost in servitude of those who's following you. So I'm there to help her as she is there to help me. The times to where, and situations that we've been in even recently to where people who aren't empathetic at all, when I think of, all right, there's this person that I know that we talk about who's not empathetic to the people that they're supposed to be leading.
Yeah.
But then I think about that person's mindset. That person is selfish.
Yeah.
That person always thinks about themselves. They can care less about what they do and how it affects others and anything like that. It's a very one-sided relationship to where they are at the forefront and they think because they are the boss by title that they can treat people and act how the way they want it and you should bow down to them because of that. So I think it's that intention and mindset. And I want to say on the flip side, when the controlling part is that it's tough.
Okay. Perfect transition. So we talked about leadership. Now he's going to talk about control. Again, I haven't even seen this yet, but he pretty much corroborated what I was saying, that it's not about ego and just having your way. It's about the best interest of the group.
It's almost like when you work a job. So it's like when you work a job, you work an entry level job, right? And you're really, really good at that entry level job. Let's say you're really good at that job. Then you get promoted to a manager. Now you're managing other people in that entry level job. Now, of course, you could do their job probably better than they can because you were at that position once.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah, you were in that position. And the reason you got promoted because you were so good, at that thing.
Yeah.
But what you have to now consider is that I'm not here by myself anymore. I'm now in a position to where I am overseeing and managing other people in this position. So although I would have did it this way when I was by myself, now that I'm in a position where there are other people that I have to consider, I need to operate a little bit differently. And that's the same as you transition from being single to being in a relationship as a man. It's like, I did things on my own. I was by myself. And this is how I operated. But now when I'm in partnership with somebody else, I need to behave differently and be more empathetic and be more caring because I'm leading somebody else and in relationship and partner with somebody else. It's not about right or wrong. It's about empathetic and perspective. It's saying that I like to show up to the airport 45 minutes before my flight. You like to show up 3 hours before your flight. I'm not saying I'm the man. This is how we doing it because I'm the man. It's like, no. There's different perspectives now, and I need to consider if you feel more comfortable showing up 3 hours early because of your anxiety and your paranoia. Okay, I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you.
Okay. Again, fair use. This dude isn't too far off. I thought he was going left earlier, but I think that's a bad example. Like, I don't think I need to. Because I think where he's headed is, if you think 3 hours is the right formula, then I'm going to just do what you say. He's not going to say it like that. But I think you come to like a middle ground, maybe 2 hours. You feel me? Well, let's see where he's going with this. But I don't think you should just bend the knee just because someone that you're supposed to be leading has a different perspective. If you know what's optimal and what's correct, that's the whole point of leadership, right? Not just to bend the knee and say, well, I got to consider what you think, so I'm just going to do whatever you want. Let's go.
2.5, 2. Can we meet in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I haven't even seen this, but he's right on path. Okay, let's go.
Figuring out what will make you feel comfortable, not saying I'm the man. I know this. I know what to do. Don't worry about this. Like, I got this. I fly all the time. I ain't never missed a flight. Like, that's not about that.
It's not about that.
It's not about you controlling or being right. It's you're in partnership with somebody now and leading.
I will say this. I do disagree with the term partnership because that implies there is no leader. That is just, it could go either way. You feel me? Which is dangerous territory. Trust me from experience. There has to be someone that has the final say at the end of the day. Damn, I wish I had the ladies up there. Where you at, Lyss? But no. Partnership is the opposite of leadership.
Is being in servitude of the people who are following and making them feel comfortable, and in return they return that back to you if the relationship is right and what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you
got to hope that you're going to get reciprocation in this environment, right? This clip is almost over, like 45 more seconds, less than that. But nowadays you got to hope for reciprocation. You got to really step out there, put your best foot forward, prove yourself, and then just hope. Cross your fingers that she'll show you 10% of reciprocation. I don't mean to sound fucked up, but that's been not only my experience, the experience a lot of my homies. Some of us married, some of us divorced, some of us never married. But it's a gamble, and you got to just roll the dice. And that's what it's like dating as a man nowadays, in my opinion. You got to just put yourself out there. Of course, you gotta what you expect to approach, pay, be charming, carry the conversation, all this shit before she does anything. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Again, the link is pinned at the top, but that's how I see it.
You can pack up if you would like. Miss Michaela, I think your name was. I don't need it. You don't need my advice. Dre is got it 100% down. That is a leader. The person you're dating is a controller
And manipulator.
and manipulative and probably abusive. Thankfully you only wasted 5 months. Or not a waste, because it's not a loss, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
And y'all have a good one. I'm out of here.
Cool. Again, shout out. What's the channel? Fair use for relationship restored. I might watch some more of this shit. Just came across them today. All right. I was mostly on point. I agree with like 85 to 90% of what was said. But let's move on. Okay. Again, I'm always or today I made a concerted effort to bring up more clips. And I thought panelists of women, but I'll let another woman speak, and we're gonna move on to the topic of why men in this current climate are choosing not to approach women. So we heard from a black lady. Let's hear from a white woman. Shout out to Lyss.
So about 2 months ago,
Fair use. The channel is Cat Talks. If y'all like our shit, subscribe.
I made a video discussing the reasons why men are not approaching women anymore. And in that video, I felt like I was beating around the bush in a sense. I wasn't getting straight to the point, and I felt it was very necessary to make another video on this topic just to reiterate some of my previous points, and also just because over the past couple of months, I've only seen this situation continuously getting worse, and women are, I think, just continuously making it worse for men. So other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So to get straight to the point, I wanted to go over again what I think are the 3 main reasons of why men are not approaching women anymore. So I want to start first with number 3 and then go down to 1. So I think to start, most men these days realize that many women are just not worth the effort of approaching anymore, let alone dating, just given how high and laughable their standards are, along with the way they present themselves.
Okay. I got to drop in right here. This is crazy to hear this from a woman. I tend to agree. I'm still having my success because I took the time to invest in myself as far as my career, finances, try to keep physically fit, even in my 40s. So, but it does seem that you have to be, because I've had my ups and downs. You know, I'm just, I had a midlife crisis not too long ago, and nobody was checking for me then. So it does depend on how you invest in yourself. I'll say that. But as far as women, I have seen the standards increase as I've gotten older. Crazy. When I was broke, I'll say this: when I was broke in my early 20s, I had I had a lot more emotion than I would have if I was, a Gen Z dude right now. I'll put it like that. So it has escalated, right? I mean, I could be in college and just driving my little Honda Civic hatchback, and I had no problem. But I don't think dudes can do that nowadays. So I have seen that. And again, this is from a woman. I'm just bouncing off what she says, but I agree with that. The standards have increased
In public and also on social media, and the self-snitching is always very prevalent, I guess you could say, and it lets men know the ones they need to avoid. So
that's also a great idea. We have like more social media changed the game, right? So we have more of a knowledge. Ladies, I'm sorry, but we can see certain patterns, especially a man like me's experienced. I can spot red flags like from across the softball field. You feel me? So yeah, I know what to look out for. And y'all putting all this shit out on social media for the attention and that validation, that short-term validation, it's not helping your long-term prospects. You got to choose a lane. I know women want to walk the middle ground. I can do whatever I want, and a man should still value me for me, but that is not the reality. No, we don't have to accept anything we don't want to. Again, it's talking about men not approaching women. I come from a generation where that was the only way to meet women. We didn't have social media, so I still got that skill set, but a lot of these new dudes don't. I would say anyone from 30 on down probably isn't like well versed in that. So Yeah, and that's like the prime dating market right now. So that's why this shit is getting crazy and why you see people posting videos like this. Let's go.
Two, I don't think most men fear rejection. I think they just don't want to deal with being labeled as a creep right away by a psycho woman who is going to record and slander them and put them on the internet for millions to see, because before you know it, you'll also be put on that T app. So, number one, which I think is the most important to acknowledge, is that women have literally said on the internet that they do not want men to approach them.
Okay, I think I do have a female guest pulling up soon. Just texted me, but I really want to speak on this, and I want to get her perspective as well. So maybe I'll try to stretch this out. But that's a fact. I've heard that. Never heard that back in the day, probably because there was no social media. But I have heard that women. Hey, Liz, real quick. It says device is not connected. I'm not sure. Maybe you want to drop out and hop back in because I would really enjoy your what you got to say on this. But let me address this lady Cat Talks point. Is that yeah, I have heard that, and how that translates is that I only want the dudes that are that I find attractive to approach me. No woman is complaining about that, right? If he's whatever her ideal is in her mind, the dude she had, the type of dude she had the poster of on her wall when she was a kid, she doesn't mind that. But she wants men she doesn't find attractive to already know that and filter themselves out. Not this woman. I think she's talking about women in general. I'm just elaborating on her point. Men, you should know you're not attractive and just filter yourself out. Again, I'm somewhere in the middle. I know I'm not the most handsome motherfucker in the world, but yeah, I've had my share of luck. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Liz, again, it says devices not connected. So I need you to drop down and then come back up. Actually, I'm gonna kick you. Just hop right back up. It's nothing. It's no hate. There we go. All right, she'll be back up. But yeah, that's the translation. Know if I find you attractive. Read my mind. You should know if I'm attracted to you or not. And then if you pass my test inside my head, approach me. Well, let's see. I'm gonna let her cook.
So, what's the issue here? Why are you so surprised? And I have heard things that they've said from their TikToks, from other YouTubers that I watch, and it's just really interesting to me because, you know, in one TikTok, they'll be saying that, you know, I'm a single independent woman who don't need no man. I don't want any man approaching me. But then I swear to you that in the next TikTok, just a couple of months later, by the same woman, they're going to be saying, well, where did all of the good men go? You know, where can I find a good man that actually wants to approach me or date? And all I have to
Yo, she is laying this shit out. Same shit I said. You want the man you want to approach you, but you want the man you don't want to know that you don't want them. That's not possible. Men are out here shooting shots, at least in my era. Uh, you don't know until you try, right? That's what they used to say. Oh, the worst you can say is no. It's gotten a lot worse, like she alluded to earlier. When we want to put you on social media, I don't know how to react if that should happen to me. It never happened to me, thankfully. But they will try to ruin your reputation. I'll say that in real life. I have experienced that part. If they if they ain't fucking with you or they view you as arrogant, like how dare you? I'm so above you. You shouldn't even be, even consider talking to me when the chick is subpar and you were just throwing her a bone, literally though. But let me read this chat in here. The king goes first says, I don't approach women. Women are scary. Fuck that. They got to come to me. I don't know if you're being sarcastic. I don't think they're scary at all. I don't know. Scary. They're not physically imposing, and I don't know. I'm not scared to approach a woman. I agree with her first point. I just sometimes see it as is not worth it. She's probably on some bullshit. Maybe that's like 20% in jadedness, but again, I know what to look for. So I can kind of, I don't want to say it's prejudice, but I can kind of judge you from across the room. If be the type of woman that would be suitable for a long-term relationship. Let's welcome our friend, our white girlfriend, Liz, to the stage. How are you, Liz? Hello? You're not muted. Liz, you're having some technical difficulties, I can tell over there. So now you're able to get on the stage, but your mic isn't working. I saw you mute and unmute yourself, but I can't hear you, champ. I'm sorry. We'll get it. We'll get it worked out. Let me see. Let's see if I can do something. Okay, she dropped out. She'll be back. Shout out to you for even trying my little new channel. And again, congrats on your 1,000 subs. That's inspiration, because I know you started your thing not too long ago. And yeah, you're monetized at 1K doing your gaming thing. Shout out Lyss. But where was I? I can't even recall. Let's keep playing.
To really say to the women making those TikToks is, I mean, please just stop, because it's annoying, it's laughable, it's hypocritical, all of the above, and men are just not falling for it anymore. Most men are waking up and not playing along with the games, because, you know, a lot of these women, they know what they're doing. And, you know, it's like, just stop acting so surprised and complaining that men are not approaching you anymore. Also, many women are
so again, this is younger than me, at least. I assume she's in her 30s. White woman across cultures who's saying they know what they're doing. She agrees with me that the translation is, if I find you attractive, approach me. But they don't understand that by putting out the blanket, because they're not going to be straightforward with that. By putting out the blanket message that they don't want to be approached, even the guys they want to approach them are not doing it now. And that's what they didn't count on. Liz, please hop back in. I think third time will be the charm. We got you on stage, but you couldn't talk. Third time will be the charm. Let's go.
Are totally fine with men approaching them, but if he's not a Chad, or if it's someone who she deems unattractive or beneath her, then in her eyes, he's automatically a creep, and she might also just enjoy the ego boost from rejecting him as well. It's literally the same thing as when you see a woman who goes to the gym wearing a skin-tight two-piece bodysuit, and then she's always like, well, why are men staring at me? Oh my gosh, men are such creeps. But I mean, they know that they're just doing it for the attention. So something I wanted to address again.
This woman is wise beyond her years. Again, not the baddest in the world, but she has a good mind, and I appreciate that. She's admitting that everything I said is true.
And which I always have to on topics I talk about like this, is that I don't dislike women. I just don't like it when women lie and then they take no accountability and want to play the victim when they clearly know what they're doing. Because, you know, men will tell you too, you know, it's like, they're like, I don't dislike women, I love women. And it's just, they understand how, you know, we are and just can be sometimes. And
I'm glad she touched on that. So just because men are becoming more aware of how ladies move and adjusting their behavior, it's not hatred. It's just, you can call it self-preservation, just moving wisely. It's like, if you made the same mistake and gotten a bad result, I don't know, let's say 20 times, are you going to keep doing that? Or are you going to adjust your behavior? You know, they say the definition, it's a cliche, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So if what you were doing, if being a, I don't even want to take it. We'll touch on the nice guy thing later. But in general, if your strategy in any endeavor isn't working, you got to switch that up. You got to adjust, as I like to say.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And I also have to say that, you know, of course, it's not all women, but a great majority these days who just act a certain way that men don't want to deal with anymore. And also, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a YouTuber I watch known as Dapper Dev, who mainly talks about dating dynamics, health and fitness, etc. And I've been watching him for the past couple of months, and he talks about how he gets a lot of hate from women on his channel, and they talk about how his content is leading young men astray, not wanting to make them step up to the plate. And I don't think that's true at all. I just think, again, it's just women not wanting to hear the truth. Because Dev will also say from time to time in his videos how much he loves women. He doesn't hate them. And I think he also said before he's a Christian, so he wants to find a good woman one day. But, you know, at the same time, it's just really discouraging how some of these, or actually, no, sorry, many of these women act these days and just take no accountability. So it's just not worth the effort. And also wanted to give another shout out.
That's crazy. Hey, Lyss, you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you for continuing to try. I know it was a little struggle for you to get up, but shout out to you. You know, we're a
Yeah, I
small.
don't.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
it's not the problem. Yeah, I don't know why this website didn't like my microphone, so I had to go back, unplug everything, and then plug it back in. And now I'm here. What is this that you're
Bless you.
watching?
This is a woman talking about. Let's zoom out here. Why men are choosing not to approach women. So you're single, you're divorced like me, is that correct? Let the audience know.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
I am.
And when you go out, do you experience that you know, like compare to now to before you were married? Do you think that men are showing, not for you in general, but to women overall, are they showing less interest, approaching less? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, men are. I've noticed men approach women less often.
Okay.
I think a lot of them are just. I don't know if they're just worried about like having to, I don't know, approach a woman that they don't know, a woman that doesn't know them, already having their guard up. uh, I think there's a lot going on both ends for both men and women that are causing both of them not to seek each other out.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad you came with that perspective. Now, let's expound on that. So, do you want to let's start on the men's side. Why do you think the men specifically? And I let me run down because you're in and out. So I'll run down my reasons and pretty much echoes what she was saying. There's not I'm sorry to say, I'm not talking about you personally. Please don't take this personally. You know I have love for you. There's not as much quality women on the market as there used to be, say in the 90s when I hopped in the game. That's one thing. Social media makes women think that they need to be like on a boat every weekend or like higher standards, right, than there used to be. It used to be more reasonable, like that the normal guy could just have a charming personality and get him where he fit in. Um, let's start with those two things. So yeah, do you think that the quality of women, and I hate to do it like this, no hatred, but I'm asking a woman, do you think the quality has dropped since like let's say 20 years ago?
I think the quality in people in general has dropped. I
Okay.
think that I don't think it's necessarily a women only issue,
Sure.
because being in the dating scene, I will tell you that it kind of goes both ways, right? Like,
I hear that.
I feel that though, yeah, I mean, sure, there are lots of women who are chronically online and live on social media, and, you know, a lot of them have these, like, you know, like men owe me everything kind of attitudes. And some people have that attitude just for humor. You know, sometimes I
Mm,
make those kinds of jokes, but I
trolling.
think that a lot of women get kind of like in that mindset of men need to do more for me.
Uh,
And uh, I mean, I don't know. I think it, but I think it kind of goes both ways.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that because again, I've never and I'm not saying that you've gone on the other side, but I only date women, so I'm not like having those kind of interactions with men. No tootie. But yeah, I get it. Okay, so you could say that. Um Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's continue with the video. Again, thanks for hopping up. Stay as long as you can, but no obligation. Thank you.
No worries.
To Jedediah Bila, hope I'm pronouncing her name right, but I've been watching her for the past couple of months, and she talks about, you know, topics similar like this, and I honestly think more women should be open to watching that type of content, because I mean, she'll even tell you the exact same thing. You know, she doesn't hate women, she just doesn't like it when they lie. I also wanted to address a comment that was made on my last video discussing this topic.
Okay, Lyss, you don't have to name any names. You're out there in Utah. I'm here in Sacramento, California. But do you think that like I don't want to say your friend circle, but in general, from your observations, do you see more dishonesty out there in the dating market in general?
I mean, I don't watch what my girlfriends do. I
Okay.
don't really pay attention to whether or not they lie. But I know that I don't know, like I'm used to men lying to me. Like
Mm,
it's just
damn.
like I'm gonna be honest from my end. I have caught many a men lying to me just to kind of manipulate me
I
into
don't mean to
doing
laugh, but okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and I know, like, see, I hope you don't see this as me bashing men because I
No,
don't. You know,
we're both
but
just telling our stories. Yeah, go ahead. Elaborate.
yeah, just my own experience. Like, I don't think men have really changed their ways on the dating end side, at least in my experience. You know, I've been kind of in and out of like the dating scene, and it's just always kind of been the, you know, like I I don't know. I feel like men do tell things to women to like. I mean, you have to think about like men that love bomb women
Okay.
to manipulate them into, um, you know, kind of accepting their advances, um, and that hasn't changed really. I mean, I don't see it as it's like a men are getting worse. I just am like, that's just how it is. You know, that's how it's always been. Like I haven't noticed any degradation in how people behave in dating overall. Like I think it's kind of been the same.
Degradation. I like that word. Great vocab. But okay, I understand where you're coming from. I will say either it has increased, and again, just my perspective, not you personally. It either the amount of dishonesty has increased on the lady side, or I wasn't aware of it before, being married and divorced. But I see so much BS these days.
And I think that that's honestly something that does come with being in a relationship for a long time, is you kind of start to become aware of patterns and behaviors that you might not have noticed at first before, you know. Um, you know, 10 years ago, I wouldn't see a man, you know, I wouldn't know what love bombing exactly is. And my guard wouldn't, like, that's one of the biggest things I've noticed is, you know, like, and I think women do it too. But again, I can't speak from
Oh man.
a man's perspective of what they're seeing. But, um, you know, like, I think that like things that I notice now, I wouldn't have noticed 10 years ago. I don't know if it's necessarily changed. It's just things I pick up on now because I'm smarter and wiser than I was, you know.
Sure, absolutely. Experience brings awareness. And I thought I had it all figured out, but for anyone who doesn't know, I don't like to share too much about my personal life, but yeah, 4 years ago, my mom got sick. A little bit after that, I was playing softball, trying to still have a life to some extent, and while taking care of her full time, being her living caretaker. But this woman I met, Christina,
Mm-hmm.
she definitely knew the game to play.
Mm-hmm.
Be seem sympathetic to my situation and tell me everything I need to hear. So yeah, absolutely. I say that to say that, yeah, with experience and comes awareness, and you can spot these things and make better decisions. So it's a gift. It sucks you have to go through that to get that knowledge, but it is a gift in the end. Let's continue. Let's continue with the video.
And this gentleman had said that he hopes I find Jesus and accept him into my heart, and I should read the Bible. I greatly appreciate that comment, but just to let you know, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior when I was 15. And if anything, I really just sit here every single day praying that many women these days will deny their flesh and overcome.
Okay. Again, I did not vet this video. I think we're going to move on because I did not expect to go in a religious direction. That's not really the type of time I'm on. So I have some other videos queued up here. I got 4 more. Let's move on to the next. Oh, okay. This next one, let me give the intro. Again, shout out to Lyss. She does gaming. She's a lot of fun. Go sub to her channel. Y'all see the little avatar. Oh, you got a little pumpkin spice with the jack-o'-lanterns around you. Avatar, that's cute. That's what's up. But anyway, this next topic is about mandatory DNA testing, and I want to hear you speak on it. But let's play at least some of the clip before we get into it. So I'm going to share this one. But this is interesting. Well, me and Lyss, as far as I know, neither of us have kids, but we're both divorced. So we're going to give you that perspective. Let's rock. Shout out mediocre tutorials and reviews. MTR really blew up over the past few years, and fair use.
There's a new bill in the Ohio House named the Right to Know Act.
Tim, Kaylee, the act is all about requiring hospitals to offer genetic testing at birth to verify paternity, as well as reduce any errors that could possibly happen in hospitals.
Taxes. And I care about where my money goes. I'm not here to pay for so-and-so because there's a confusion about who's the father. That's not my business. Handle your personal shit. And for me, I want to fund schools. I want to fund the MTA because the trains are never on time. We got bigger problems. I'm sorry. I'm not paying for no mandatory tests. I don't think there's any.
Okay. Pause for the cause. I'll let you go first. Do you have anything to say about this woman's perspective? Or, the general topic of whether mandatory paternity tests would be a good idea?
Mandatory? No, I mean, like, honestly, I think it should be something that people can opt in or out of. But I do think it's something that is a good idea to offer. Not necessarily because I'm like, oh, everybody's, cheating on each other and shit. It's there are, other reasons to get that assurance that your baby is your baby in the hospital. I've heard of.
Oh, okay. The baby swaps. That's more rare than.
It is, but.
Uh-oh, you muted. I'm gonna unmute you.
Hold on, stupid computer.
I got you. You muted for a sec. Go ahead.
But no, and that is more rare, but there are, also, I don't know if, like, when they say paternity tests, are they doing like any other genetic testing by chance? I don't know. I don't know what other.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the DNA. So I haven't gotten, again, I have no kids, so I haven't even been in that position, but I've never done like a 23andMe because I am a semi-conspiracy theorist. But yes, that would be part of it. Let me say this and get your response. Let me cam back up. I would definitely, if there was a human life on the table that I am obligated to take care of for 18 years. And again, I get it from your perspective because a woman never has to, you don't have any kids, but a woman in general never has to guess or hope that the child is yours. It grew in your body. It comes out of your body. So from a man's perspective, yes, I would definitely want to know. So I am in favor. I will say that. It would just, because it does create an awkward situation, which I don't know why it should, because if the woman isn't cheating, she shouldn't give a fuck. But she said, I've heard it framed as, oh, you don't trust me? Well, no, not with this level of obligation, not with 18 years and me literally going to work every day to financially provide, but then all the emotional and teaching the kid how to play baseball and football, and if it's not mine, no, that's unacceptable. So try to view it through our lens, that how heavy the investment is on an unsure thing. You don't have to guess about it. So that's where I'm at with it, I think. And again, it would alleviate the strain of the man trying to say, oh, well, I'm not sure. Can we have a test? Like, if it's mandatory, it doesn't put the couple, both people, through that strain. It's just like, this is part of the thing, is what we got to do. Again, I'm semi-conspiracy theorist, so I don't want to give my genetic information away. But in that scenario, I would be down to sacrifice that to be sure that what I'm investing in is actually mine. Please follow up.
Well, I mean, honestly, I mandatory, I kind of waffle on, because
Why?
I don't know, because if parents don't want that, if parents do not want that, they should be able to opt out. That I think
Why would the man not want it? Hypothetically,
I don't know. That's
it's just
between
peace of
that
mind.
couple.
It's just peace of mind. I
Yeah,
can
but
understand why the woman wouldn't want it, but for the man, he doesn't lose anything by knowing for sure.
if the dude doesn't care to know, if it doesn't matter to him to get it tested, if he does not that he doesn't care to know, but if he is like, no, this baby is mine and I trust my partner, he should be able to go with that. If they want to opt out, that is a decision between the couple.
See,
That's just my take.
no, that's fine. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just gonna say, see, this is why I'm not a father, because I told that same girl Megan a few years back that I don't care if you were the Virgin Mary. I'm gonna demand that.
Yeah, and see, I don't know, like, how, as you know, if I was in the hospital, I just gave birth,
Right.
and my husband is like, I just want to make sure,
But
you know,
that's where it has. That's why I'm saying mandatory, because
right.
that alleviates the emotional part. He's not putting the pressure on her. And again, yeah, postpartum is real. All that shit. I respect that. But so he doesn't have to bring it up. It has to. The reason is, let me slow down. It has to happen at this point, because that's where you sign the birth certificate and become legally obligated. Even if DNA down the line proves it's not yours, if your name is on that birth certificate in most states, you are still obligated financially. You could be on child support for a child that you know for a fact is not yours. That's unacceptable to me. That's all. That's one reason.
And that's fair. That's completely fair. Making it mandatory, I think it's just, honestly, it's their body, it's their child, it's their, I get where you're coming from, but I think there should be an option for people to opt out of it.
And I think that's actually I'm glad you made that transition. That's a good segue, and he's going to play it out. I think from what I know about this law, and it's only state by state, but it is like if both parents say, no, we don't want it, then it's not mandatory. So maybe mandatory is misleading, but if either one of them want it, then it goes down. Does that make sense?
That's fair. That's fair. I do want to say that I get the obligation, or I get not the obligation, I get the hesitancy, but I will tell you, if you are going into you're going into parenting with another person that you're having doubts on whether or not they slept with somebody and got pregnant, I would say you probably have some issues that you guys need to resolve. Or things aren't going to go so great. If there is a level of distrust like that, there needs to be, like, if you're doubting that your partner might, if there even is there's that doubt there that your kid might not be yours, then I would say you probably have some issues with your partner that you need to resolve.
Okay, I can respect it. Again, maybe I'm just too old and jaded, but I can't do it. I can't.
And that's fair, but I think, like, honestly though, I think, I think our pasts do shape how we feel about things. And I don't know your past, and I don't know what has happened, but I know that I have had people manipulate me into trying to get me I'm not even gonna go into my
Uh-oh.
history, but I have been on the
No,
other
please do.
end.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit, but whatever you feel comfortable sharing, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was married to a guy who wanted me to be pregnant from day one.
Okay.
And the entire 6 years we were married, it was just constant pressure. And I finally relented and decided we would start trying. And that inevitably was what broke the marriage, thankfully. I'm very grateful we never had children together.
That's interesting.
And I won't go into everything
Sure.
that went down, but I would say that, there having a child with somebody requires a lot of trust and dedication on both partners' ends.
hmm
And if you are having, trust issues or doubts, or I mean, it wouldn't hurt to just like maybe look into counseling or couples counseling. I don't know. But I feel that going in without those bad vibes into a relationship, and maybe that's why it's a good thing to just kind of knock it out and be like, hey, you're the dad. You no need to worry there. But again, if you're sitting there the entire time your partner's pregnant, wondering if the kid's yours, then I'd say you probably have some issues you need to resolve with your partner.
Okay, I can respect that. Before we continue with the clip, I literally had a epiphany, if you will. 2 nights ago, I'm laying in bed trying to sleep, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I think I got my I was the one that planted the seed in my ex-wife, but I'm not 100% sure. And again, I'm not gonna go. It was a complicated situation. It was like we weren't living together for a second, and then she moved back in. I don't know.
Yeah, and see, it sounds like you guys already were your foundation with each other was already shaky. And I would say if you have a shaky foundation with somebody, I would hold off on parenting with that person.
Well, ultimately, spare you the details, but obviously we did, right?
Right.
Shout out to her. I'm not gonna put her name out there. She knows who she is. If you ever come across this, oh girl, I know you be watching me on social media. That's why you tried to circle back a couple years ago. Anyway, well, she has 2 children of her own now by some dude with tattoos on his face. Let's go.
Issue with a man taking care of another man's child. Women do it all the time, whether you know or not.
Mandatory DNA testing at birth. Ever since I started this platform, you guys already know I've been a major advocate of this legislation. Apparently, some bills are being stood up to enact just that. Let's get active.
Breaking news, guys. You will now be forced to take a DNA test after your baby is born now, because a lot of confusion has been going on during the years. So now they are making it to you have to take a DNA test as soon as the baby is born with the dude that you claim to be the dad. The dad cannot sign that birth certificate until the DNA results come back that the child is his. I feel like this is a very good thing nowadays, because sometimes the mom might be confused, don't know who the baby daddy is, and pointed.
Confused is crazy way to do.
Yeah, confused is obfuscating away from the issue that she slept with multiple men during the same period, so she doesn't know. She's not confused. She's just not loyal. Okay.
Yeah, see, I think this is the problem. You guys are finding women that you have to wonder and ask. Like, if you have
Come
to ask
on.
yourself, no, I'm serious. You have to wonder if you're with somebody who you're constantly wondering with. I've been with men that I have trusted completely, and I look back and I'm like, yeah, I know they didn't cheat on me, but like, I think that if you are having doubts about your partner, whether or not they are being, monogamous or they're cheating, I think before anything happens child-wise, y'all need to like get something figured out, or you're going to have such a hard time raising that child.
So I agree with you in general. I agree with you overall, to your overall point. However, it's just the the amount of consequences. A woman could never be fooled into raising another woman's child, right? That's the only distinction. And the woman knows if she slept with multiple men during that period. She knows. He doesn't know. So if I go out, and again, I don't condone cheating. I said this on my last relationship stream. It's wrong on both ends, but the consequences are heavier for a woman cheating, especially in this state, than a man, right? He can go out and be a dog, but there's no way a woman can bring a child to you and say, "Oh, this is yours," right?
Well, that's fine and all.
Again, from a moral perspective, I completely agree with you, but a woman
If
can't be
you're
fooled. A woman
if
cannot be
your
fooled.
girl is bringing, oh, I can't hear you anymore.
I still hear you.
Okay, I couldn't hear you. Oh, okay. But I was gonna say, if you have a partner and there is this, I mean, it's fair. I get men don't want to be on the hook for children that are not
Absolutely
theirs.
not.
That's fair. However, I'm gonna be real with you. If you're sitting here wondering whether or not your girlfriend is or your wife is loyal to you, and to the point where you're like, man, I don't even know if this kid is mine, you probably got more issues than the kid maybe not being yours. That's
I
just
get
all
it. I get it. And again, okay, I'm gonna take. I wish we had a couple more people to like even this out, but nah, I can't. And this goes across the board. I don't really take like I've had the same friends since elementary school, so I'll take their word on some shit because I known them for 30 plus years. Other than that, other than them and my mom, even though she's sick right now, those are the people's words I take at face value. A woman I met even 5-10 years ago, I don't know your character like that, so I just want to be sure. And maybe I'm fucked up. Maybe I just been out in the sun baking for too long, or that's just how I see it. I understand what you're saying. It's not a healthy relation. Excuse me. It's not a healthy relationship dynamic to bring a child into. Absolutely. But again, I think after the man gets the reassurance, then he could be like, okay, I can really invest my all into this woman and this child. Yo, I'm gonna let my man OG Shelton in here. What up, man?
CJ Rich, boxing the bullshit. What's going on, man?
Yeah, we on some BS today. You see it. What up? What up? How long you been tapped in? What you got to say?
I just tapped in. What's the word? What y'all talking about?
Oh, we talking about this this Ohio state. It's just a state law for now about mandatory DNA testing at birth. How do you feel about that?
It should be in all 50 states, 52 states, 51 states, whatever we got. It should be in every state. Because how many men have been played by these chicks? I got a couple homies right now been in relationships for 5+ and just found out the baby ain't theirs.
I'll do you one better. I got the stat. Again, this is a UK stat, so granted, but it's still a Western country. 33% of the tests, that's only the ones that were tested. The claim father was not the father. Yo, I'm gonna let Liz respond to you real quick. We got a woman on the panel. I'm gonna let her respond to what you just said.
What's up, Liz? How you doing, girl?
Good. I just want to know, where are you guys finding these women where you're
come
like,
on, man.
No, I'm serious. I have never known a woman. I'm going to be honest with you. I have never known a woman who is actually, and I'm sure it happens. I know it happens. Okay. But I think but I'm saying, like, where do you live,
Liz? Liz, where do you live?
I live in Utah, but I've also lived in Minnesota. I've lived in Oklahoma. Like, I have never
Midwestern, borderline Bible Belt states. People in those places are raised differently than people in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles. CJ from the Bay, Oakland, Sacramento. We're raised differently than people in the Midwest and the Bible Belt. There's different. The more compass is different, is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
It does. Now, let me say this. I'm going to say that I think that there's low quality women and there's high quality women. I think men need to focus their energy on high quality women. Like, don't, for me, there's guys that I fuck with, there's guys that I would consider long-term relationships with, and then there's guys that I would completely ignore. And I feel that I don't know what your guys' dating lives are like.
Let me dial this
let
down.
me ask you this.
No, Shelton, before you go, let me rock this.
Question. One question.
Let me quarterback this. I'm gonna let you go, Shelton. Let me quarterback this.
Go ahead, CJ. Go ahead,
Lyss,
CJ.
I'm trying to dial this down. Are you saying,
Yeah,
by saying that men need to focus on higher quality women, are you saying they need to do a better job at stratifying, if you will, like separating the different quality level of women? Is that what you mean?
I mean, compartmentalize it or work it out however you want. But I mean, I do see men getting with women that are shitty women and then kind of scratching their heads when things don't work out. Like, women do it too. Like, I don't know. Like, I would never do this to a partner. I would never.
Well, see, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Man. Two things. Number one, what does a high quality woman look like? Number one.
We discussed that earlier. I wish I was here.
Number two. Yeah. But number two, and this is the most important one. So you got to understand that men and women view relationships differently. Women will only mess with you if you meet certain criteria. Whereas men, we don't care what you drive, where you live, what you make, where you work. We don't care about any of that. If I like you, I like you. Because men make their own money. Whereas women, you have to meet certain criteria for a quote unquote high quality woman to even want to deal with you. You see what I mean? Because you just said it yourself. You said there's certain guys you mess around with, some guys you want a long-term relationship with, and some guys you'd ignore. Right?
Right. And you know what? It's not about how much they make, what they drive, what they do. It's about their character. That's really all it boils down to for me.
And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that. That's
maybe you matured into that. I'm not going to speak on your past at all. But I have what I call, like you said, there's certain dudes you would just mess around, but they're not long-term relationship material. Y'all have the friend zone. I have what I call the hoe zone layer. So if a woman is attractive but doesn't meet the character qualities, I'm gonna just, get what I can out of her. I'm sorry. Shout out to the ladies, but certain ones don't qualify. I'll put her in the hoe zone layer, and if y'all can have friend zone, then I can have that. Is that fair?
Yeah, I don't see why that's a problem. Like,
well, most women don't like to hear that.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm thinking. I think people base their views off of their own relationship history and their own experience, and that's how we shape our opinion of the world, right? Based on our own personal experiences and history. But if you are, running into women that you are not vibing with in the sense of that you can trust them on another level, then I mean, maybe you need to change something about what you're looking for. I don't know. I am not a guy. I don't know how it is on the dating end for men. But I just know that when I get fed up with a certain type of behavior I'm seeing from men, I stop seeking out those kinds of men. And I move on, and I focus my energy and efforts on other people. And
you know what just crossed my mind as you were speaking, Liz? And shout out Shelton. Let's give you a little context. Shelton, my man from LA, I want to say he's about 60, so he's a generation above us. I think we're close
60.
in age. Yeah, there we go. But just crossed my mind. It's like maybe this is a problem on both the men's and women's side, is that the trustworthy people usually aren't the most sexy. Maybe that's the issue.
Well, I'll tell you guys, my husband was very attractive, and he was charismatic. He made a lot of good money. But behind closed doors, he was a complete fucking narcissistic prick. And that's, in the end, what kind of undid everything. And
Okay.
so, but you guys, I look at my ex-boyfriend. My ex-boyfriend was the nerdiest, dorkiest fucking guy. I'm serious, like dead serious, nerdiest guy. And he
treated you like a queen.
What was that?
Treated you like a queen.
He no, not even that, but he treated me significantly better. And I learned kind of like what works in relation. Well, I am now looking for relationship wise and what I want and expect out of a relationship. And there are behaviors I keep an eye on now, and I've noticed. And like CJ, when I talk about love bombing, I'm speaking from experience. Like every relationship,
I've been there too.
Yeah, every relationship I've been in, it started with love bombing. And like now when guys do that to me, I'm just very hesitant. I don't respond to it. I am very like, I will flirt with you, but you professing your love for me or that you want to do this, that, and the other, like come on now. Like I'm not buying into that shit. Like
okay.
I think that, and there's a reason why I'm still single, because I'm very selective about who I let into my bubble. And I haven't met anyone that I felt has, reached that meets what I'm looking for. And see the thing, and it's not like I'm saying like you have to have money, car, shit, this, that, and the other. It's behavior. It's behaviors and patterns that I look at. And I haven't met anybody that I feel, doesn't have like, I don't know. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm just saying, like, I think that men and women experience a lot of these issues. Like men have to worry about women possibly giving them kids that might not be theirs. Women have to worry about their husbands, you hear about domestic violence. Like I thought my husband was going to beat the shit out of me. And that's why part of the reason why I was like, I'm done. And, there are things that we both have to worry from on different perspectives and different reasons and different things. And I think that really it's what I'm just trying to say is these are great things. Like, sure, make this mandatory. I don't care. It's not my, I don't really have much else to say on that.
No, it's fine.
But I think one of the things I've noticed is men and women are more focused on, well, you have to, I think we both get defensive about our own experiences as what it's like dating for a man versus what it's like dating for a woman. And
of course.
And I think that sometimes we kind of get in these like gender wars where we're like, no, men have it worse because of this, that, and the other. No, women have it worse because this, that, and the other. I think really, like, I think that there's just a lot of things to consider for both genders.
No, I understand where you're coming from, and I wasn't trying to make it a gender war thing. That's not where this stream or me in general is coming from, but it was just like, again, like I said, a woman could never be fooled in that same way. Yeah, a man can be a piece of shit, but then you can just bounce. You're not going to be there for 18 years thinking some fake shit. That's all.
You would be. Well, I'll tell you guys, my dad had another family.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
I mean, speak on that as much or as little as you like. I'm not going to press that issue.
No, my dad had another family, and my grandfather had another family. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you see women and men both make decisions on choosing low quality people that they don't have business being in relationships with. Like my dad is a piece of shit. My grandpa was a piece of shit. No, I'm not gonna lie. Like and you can say I have daddy issues all day long, but I am way wiser and stronger than a lot of the women in my family because I have witnessed and learned and do not fuck with people who have the same energy. But like I say, like women have
Please.
men, like I said, it's just there's lots of different issues that, women could, lie about, them getting pregnant by somebody else and saying it was you. If you find out down the road, like I know that you're kind of trapped into that obligation, but I think there's ways, at least there should be ways to fight it if you find out that they are not your child.
But that's not the legal reality right now. I understand what you're saying. You're trying to say it should be morally, it should be a way to shake out of that. But right now, no, there's not.
No, and that's fair. And I think, and like you said, making these things mandatory kind of alleviates that awkwardness of talking about it. But should you, like, if you have a partner that is understanding, like, I would feel hurt if my partner asked. But I think if you can't have these kinds of hard conversations with your partner, then what are you doing with them?
Okay, I want to ask you this directly, Liz, and I want Shelton to follow up. I think you're driving right now, but if you're around, please follow up after Liz answers this. Would that ruin the relationship in your eyes? Like, fuck, he wouldn't even, because you just gave birth. If he asked you for that, would you be like, damn, he doesn't really fuck with me like that? How would you perceive that?
I honestly don't know because I've never been in that situation.
Sure.
But I would imagine I would be initially hurt. But me being somebody that tries to put myself in my partner's shoes, I would at least try to find some common ground and understanding with my partner on this.
You hear this, y'all? You only find them like this in Utah. I might need to become Mormon or some shit. Shelton, you want to respond? Y'all hold me down. I got to run out for a bit, like 2 minutes. I'll be back. Please hold it down. Well, I'm not stepping out till one of y'all start talking. I got to go, though.
Yeah, so, Shell, I agree. Like,
No, I said, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Now, go ahead, Shelton.
Yeah, I mean, if your partner wants to do what? What was the question?
Oh, if your partner, since it's not across, it's not a uniform thing yet across all states. I asked her if her partner requested her to take the DNA test, would that ruin the relationship? She said, no, I would feel a little hurt that he didn't trust me, but I could see it from his perspective and we could still rock out.
Well, for me, right?
You're right back.
If we married, then no, I'm not going to ask you to do that because I'm going to trust that you respected me enough to be honest with me. Hell, you married me, so
exactly. If you do have
but if we're not married and I asked you to do that, yeah, if we're not married and I asked you to do that, you should not have a problem with it, especially if we're not exclusive.
And like, I honestly
like changed a lot.
It would be hurtful. But if I loved my partner, and I don't know, maybe this is something you need to talk about with your partner before they give birth. Like, like maybe talk about it before. Don't talk about it right after, she just gave birth. Like, that's probably not the best time to talk about that anyway. Why not talk about I think if you're having honest conversations with your partner the entire way, then this shouldn't be an issue. Like, it really should be a non-issue. And then,
I get it. Don't get me wrong. If you guys are in a relationship, a committed relationship, and you ask somebody that and they get pissed off, I get it. You don't trust me. You think I'm out here. No, I get it. You could be pissed off, but you should, in my opinion, you still shouldn't have a problem taking it if you ain't got nothing to hide. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to say is you need to be having these conversations with your partner before. You should be having these conversations with your partner long before you guys even like get to this point, right? Like I think that if you can't have open, honest conversations about concerns with your partner in the first place, then maybe you shouldn't be having children with that person. Like, I'm just gonna be real. Like, if you feel like you cannot talk to your partner, even if you know that it's gonna hurt them, if you are incapable of having hard conversations with your partner, what the hell is parenting gonna look like for you? Like, I think
Yeah,
that these are
all would be a
conversations.
nightmare. I feel you, but a conversation is not going to stop someone from doing what they're going to do, right?
Right, but here's the thing. That's why Shell. I'm piggybacking off of what Shell was saying. Is it needs to start with the legal system. Like child support needs to be handled differently. It needs to be looked at differently. Because, you know, here's what I like. I know my ex-boyfriend didn't cheat on me, but I remember at the very beginning of our relationship, because I was worried. I didn't know. We spent the first 2 years of our relationship like just seeing each other on weekends because we both worked and lived like 45 minutes apart from each other. So we would just see each other on weekends for the first couple of years. And I remember, I would worry during the week. I'd be like, oh, what if he's going out to a bar and meeting some girl and stuff like. But then I would say, you know what? If I find out he was cheating on me down the road, then that's it. That's when I end the relationship. It does no good to worry about this right now. And if I have to constantly circle back to this worry of whether or not he's going to cheat, then I either I should not be in this relationship, or there's something that needs to change. Like I just think that if you're
Excuse me,
having
y'all. Sorry about that. I made it to my destination.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit y'all back in a minute.
For sure. All right, Liz,
All right.
please continue.
All right.
Yep. If you go ahead with what you're saying, Liz.
I'm trying to remember where I was.
Sorry, you were saying that if I find out down the road he was cheating, then that's it. And I think we were trying to get you. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like and that's I think the attitude that everybody needs to have is like that, and that's why this is why it needs to start with the legal system, is because if you find out down the road that your partner cheated on you, has their child is not yours, then you should be able to get out of the child support obligation.
Okay, I'm glad we found some common ground on that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's just unfair. Okay.
That's where I think
but how could you find out without a test at some point?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, what I'm trying to say is what are you going to do? Are you going at the time of your divorce?
I'll tell you what I'm about to do. Go ahead.
If you are at the time of divorce or separation, or if there's, you're having issues later on, sure, request a paternity test. But I'm saying, like, if your partner has given you no reason or any indicator other than that you should just trust them, then I would say that is where the hurt would come in. Like, if I know that I have been completely loyal, I have not done anything, and I just gave birth, like, yeah, we don't want those kind of conversations happening right then and there. Like, I want to, but I'm just telling you, if you are worrying the entire time that while your girl's pregnant, and then if you're worrying about this after your girlfriend or wife gives birth, then I would say that you need to have the conversation. Like, you need to have the conversation. Why are you having these doubts to begin with. Like, I think that you know, I know you want to know for certain, but there's nothing we really can know for. Like, what I'm just trying to say is you have to at some point just trust. And if you find out that your partner was cheating on you and that's not your child, then that is when you should be able to, you know, forego your responsibility and child support. But if you are going to be, you know, having that going into your relationship with that level of doubt, if you're going to go into starting a family with that kind of doubt, then it's just the paternity test is not going to fix anything. I'm just
Oh no,
telling
it
you.
absolutely will.
No,
Because if it comes back false, then you can just bounce with a free conscience, right? Let's say no paternity test, hypothetically, right? It doesn't, how it goes down today, it's not mandatory. It doesn't go down. The man can either fully trust and be wrong, right? I'm not saying he is wrong. I'm not saying she cheated. He can trust her and be wrong, or he can not trust her and have the peace of mind to know that his life blood, like, I don't think you guys understand everything a man pours into his family. Like, that's it. He's willing to die for the woman and the child. So if the woman is hypothetically, not saying she is, but is potentially a cheater, and you're as a home invasion breaks out, you stand in front of the woman and child that's not even yours and give your life up. Is that a fair deal? Like, why can't we just know? Why can't we just like wipe off all the doubt so he knows that what he's sacrificing for is actually his? I don't understand the issue in that. It's just, I don't think you can understand. We're gonna move on. We've got that topic cooked, and we haven't even finished the video. But that's my perspective. Like, I want to know if I'm gonna die for someone that it's actually my shit.
Yeah.
Describe that.
Yeah.
To the person that
I
you think
do.
the
I'm
baby
so
daddy-
sorry. Before
Go
you
ahead.
continue, I am so sorry. I only had like a brief window to jump in. I do
Okay.
got to get going, but I thank you for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer, but
Oh no, of course you put in almost an hour. That was excellent. I'll get some good clips out of this. Like, I'm glad we got a woman on here.
Yeah,
The dude from we had a dude from Denmark that I'd never seen. If you're a new sub, shout out to you. We got this dude from Scotland. But yeah, if Liz, if you got to go, salute. Shout out to you.
All right.
Thank you.
I will see you later.
I'll see you. What up, Mick? Please speak slowly for the people. Oh.
What up, CJ?
Hey, what's cracking, baby? This isn't boxing, it's BS today.
Hello?
But can you hear me? I can hear you.
This thing's fucked.
Hey, drop out and hop back up. I can hear you, but you can't hear me. And my boy Mick from Scotland about to go in. But okay, for now, that was cool. That was a good hour of material right there. I'm gonna chop it off at like 2 hours, so we got 27 minutes to go. Okay, here's Mick. What up? You hear me now? Mick, can you hear me?
CJ.
Yes. Something's wrong with your headphones or something, champ. I can hear you. You can't hear me. Drop down. Try it one more time. Liz had similar
Hello?
issues. I hope StreamYard isn't fucking up. I'm gonna have to move on, champ. Drop out. Hop back in. Sorry I had to kick you, but yeah, I could hear you. If you're down in the chat now, I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. I'm gonna continue and
is for some reason, and it's not fair to the dad that's not the baby daddy to still be taking care of a baby that's not his. So lawfully, I feel like this is a very great decision. I don't feel like anybody should be mad about this decision. Your baby needs to get that mouth swabbed, and that man do too. He needs to make sure that baby is his before he be signing any type of papers. Don't be mad at me, be mad at the source. So yeah, that's how. And another thing is, if you have a man that you claim the dad is, and it's not the dad, he can sue you now.
Okay. To have a screaming baby in the back.
holy shit, that's the perfect time to pause. Mick, unmute yourself.
What's up, man?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, but there was an echo. You need to close out the YouTube. If you're on your phone, you have a YouTube tab open. You need to close that out because the audience can hear the echo. But yeah, we're on the same page now.
2 seconds. I actually didn't know what's going on because it's saying uploading recordings on this. But
Oh, that's right. I unlocked a feature with my plan on StreamYard that like each individual person's audio and video gets chopped up as an individual file, and you can approve it or not if you want to, let me upload that. I haven't done it yet. I was just something I was playing around with. Again, I'm just getting used to all these features. I'm only 2 months in the game, but I thought that'd be interesting to have individual files, in case I wanted to clip something someone said later. But man, you can do it or not. You have
yeah,
to
no
approve it.
worries.
Yeah.
I just caught the end of that discussion there. How?
When the woman was on here, when Liz was on here.
Yes.
Okay.
It's tough. I don't have a kid. I've not been in that situation, but how does the relationship continue when you put that much doubt into somebody?
Oh, come on, Mick. I thought you was gonna come up from a man's point of view. I'm gonna tell you like this: I cannot risk my life for something that I'm not sure is mine. Are you down to do that? Are you down to risk paternity fraud? Again, I got the stat from the UK. Over like 33% of the people that were tested, who knows how many that weren't tested, came back that the claim father was not the father. Are you willing to lay down your life for another man's child? I'm not. No reasonable person would. I wouldn't ask a woman to do that either.
I kind of disagree. See if it's like 3, 4, 5 years in and you've brought the kid up, then you've got that bond.
Hell no. Yeah, I could be the uncle.
Nah,
man, I can't do it.
No.
Negative.
So you would never date a woman who's got a kid?
No.
No?
I've said that before. No.
Wow.
Because I know I wouldn't. It's not just to be an asshole. I unpacked this before. I know, let's say hypothetically, the woman came in and it's going to sound fucked up to some of my people, but hear me out. I came in, the woman had a kid. I took on that responsibility. And then later down the road, we have another kid. I believe, and again, it's hypothetical. I don't have any kids. But hypothetically, that I would have a little bit more investment in my own flesh and blood, my own child, than I would hers. And that's not fair to her kid. So I wouldn't even put myself in that position. That's why. Does that make sense?
So, from technically this side of the pond's view, I know loads of parents, loads of step parents as such, and they have been like the lifesaver to that family, to bring the kid up as if it's theirs unwillingly. I had a situation where one of my cousins the woman had a kid, and it said it was somebody else's father, and then they found out at 10-year-old that it's actually my cousin's, but he still had to take that place of a father after losing that time. But I don't think you can, if you're going to conceive a baby and then you're going to DNA test it, then the relationship's broken.
Nah, man. Again, and even Liz, the woman up here, agreed with me. She said, because I asked her specifically, I dialed it down. She said she would be hurt that he didn't trust her off top, but she would try to, zoom out and say, okay, I can understand from a man's perspective. As a woman, I could never be fooled into raising someone else's kid. That's a unique situation for a man. So for his peace of mind, even though it might be something we have to work through, it wouldn't ruin the relationship. That's what she said as a woman. And I think that's very reasonable.
So, sure, another foot, a single mother has a kid. Does every male get DNA tested in the hood to see if it's theirs? So
In the hood? I don't understand what you're
or,
asking. No, the man that she claims is the father, he gets the DNA test.
No, she says she doesn't know who the father is, and she's a single mom.
Well, that's on her.
Does your partner say to you, I want you to go and take a DNA test to prove it's not yours?
No, but that's like asking if a man gets a felony if it's on the community. No, you fucked up. If you're that loose, if you don't protect your womb, I'm gonna say this real shit. If you are that loose with your womb that you have absolutely no idea who the father is and it needs to be a community paternity test, then you fucked up. We're all adults.
But
We need to be responsible for our own decisions. I'm not giving a
so
pass because a woman just was reckless with her womb.
so you would want a paternity test as a father, but your partner has no right to say to you, you could be that kid's father. I want you to take a DNA
Oh,
test.
you're just asking her if she's fucking asking for it and
You're,
it's no
you're
cost to me and I just smashed her and she was just a pass around, then
no,
cool.
no,
Yeah, she could ask for whatever she wants. Cool. I
no.
would
I
actually want
think
to know. I would want to
think
know even if it was not a committed relationship. Because
even if you
I'm not gonna be
sorry,
let me say this real quick, Nick. I'm not gonna be with her because of that, because I am the father, but I wouldn't leave my child out there with nothing. If it's my
so
child, that's the issue. That's what you're
no,
overlooking.
you've misunderstood me here.
Okay.
So say one of your neighbours has a kid. You've
Okay.
never been near her.
Yeah.
None of the village has been near her. None of the city. But your partner says to you, oh, that could be your kid. That could be yours. Can you go and do a
Well, that
DNA
doesn't make
test to
sense.
prove it?
No, that doesn't make. I understand what you're saying now, but that doesn't make sense. That's just a woman being suspicious, as
But
opposed
you're
to a
being
man. Hold
suspicious
on.
as well.
As opposed to a man being in a committed relationship with the person that is having a child. See that you're asking about something external. It's not like your girl is pregnant, or it's external to you. She's just coming up with conjecture and saying, "Oh, you could be." But no, if there's actually a relationship and she's claiming you're the father, that's when it should be mandatory
I
because you're responsible
think it's,
for it.
but then you would have to take your responsibility if the other one is yours. See, you've got to, it's got to be done equally here. I get what you're
No,
saying.
again, and I made this point to Liz because a woman could never be, even if she was suspicious, it's not like she's going to have to be responsible for that. Say her man did cheat. She had no reason to believe it, no evidence, but she said, "Oh, I think you fucked the neighbor and you got her pregnant." She still wouldn't be responsible. That's the difference. The man is on the hook. The woman is never on the hook. What? I don't know how it works in the UK. You don't have child support out there?
Well,
How? What the fuck?
What if that mother then dies, and then you and your partner have to take that kid in?
Okay, well then she's still not. There's still okay, and I'm glad you brought this up because we're gonna
and then
close it out
you've
with this. No,
also
no, no. I
got
have a great point. You transitioned me into another video. I think I have this one. Yep.
so
Hold on, dude. Let me cook. This is my shit. I'm gonna let you speak, but let me set the stage. This next
right when you go.
video is about gender roles, and I say that's a good segue because of this, because a woman is never ever expected to take on the majority of the financial. Yeah, she could invest in that child emotionally, but she is never expected to take on the majority of the financial responsibility for a child, whether it's hers or not. So now we're talking gender roles. That's why the burden on the man, that's why paternity is a heavier demand, because you're expected to pay for that child's needs.
So to go back in that, if that father has to pay child support to the neighbour, then that affects your household, yeah?
Sure, it'll lower her quality of life, which is still not coming directly out of her pocket. You understand the difference?
No, if
What?
you're in a committed
Because most
relationship.
women work nowadays, it's not gonna garnish her paycheck. She can still do whatever the fuck she wants with her money. She might get less date night or two from her man, but that's not directly coming out of her pockets. She's indirectly affected. Hold on. She is indirectly affected while he's directly affected. I only have 17 minutes because I got to stop at 2 hours.
Right.
We're gonna play this, and I'm gonna let you cook. But that's the distinction in my book.
Amazing partners of my show, but they also support the Paralyzed Veterans of America. Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. So we've talked about this before, but
Shout out to this channel. The comment section's fair use. I'm not stealing your stuff. We're just commenting on it.
cracks me up to no end when trends start popping up on social media and it's, Gen Z discovering something and giving it a totally new label and it, has already been a thing for years, or, people are glamorizing, romanticizing something that is totally normal. You guys get the gist. It's all these very traditional things. And it's funny that these will trend because usually they are very traditional, commonplace activities or beliefs. And in general, I think that just goes to show why tradition exists. It works for a reason. It is obviously still intriguing to people, even in such a progressive contemporary time as now. And so this month, traditional gender roles are trending on social media, and it is pissing a lot of people off, especially after one of their favorite athletes hopped on the train. Before we dive into this story, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and then, of course, ring that notification bell so that you never miss one of our comment section uploads. All right, so it isn't really the traditional gender roles are trending in general. This is a trend. It is a video format that talks about the differences and resultant compatibility between men and women in relationships and marriages. Again, nothing.
Pause for the cause because I probably won't be able to finish this with my limited time. Mick, do you agree that there are separate gender roles for men and women, expectations in relationships? Maybe I should put it like that: gender expectations. Are we expected to perform different roles in a relationship? Yes or no?
Yes, but no financially.
No, it's always on the man, right? When is the woman expected to take care of a man? Is that the norm, or is it the other way around?
I think you're supposed to take care of each other, no?
No. Financially, it's the expectation is on the man. I don't know where you guys are at in the UK, but I do think you're being a little dishonest.
Like
I think
maybe
the expectation is more on the man. If a woman can match him, that's a bonus. But she's never expected for, stay-at-home husbands are not the norm. Can you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. But stay-at-home wives aren't really a thing anymore, really, are they?
No, it's less common, but stay-at-home husbands are even less common. So the norm is for the man to take over the majority financial load.
But 90% of the time, the woman gets burdened with it.
They get what?
So if that marriage breaks down and they split, the woman ends up with the financial burden.
No,
90%
she ends up with alimony and child support. That's not a burden. That's a free ride. He doesn't pay. The burden would be if she had to pay him. That's not the norm. Come on, champ. I've been to family court. You can't tell me nothing.
maybe you're in America, but
I've been to divorce court dozens of times.
Over here.
No, you're not going to tell me, and I'll look it up, and we'll circle back.
I'm telling you.
No, the woman does not pay alimony and child support. You are bullshitting. You're being dishonest.
No, what I'll explain to you is, so the large majority of fathers over here do not pay what they're supposed to pay. They go and they put their earnings as little as possible, and it's about
but they are the ones paying, though, right? They're not getting paid. Hold on, I hate to cut you off, but the bottom line is the father, even if they're underpaying, they are the ones paying. So that's the financial burden.
No, because it's like £76 or close to $90 a week or something.
I don't give
that
a
doesn't
fuck.
pay for a child.
I'm not bickering about the amount. I'm saying who is paying who. Is the man paying the woman, or is the woman paying the man? The man is paying the woman, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can continue this, but I only got
15 minutes.
12 minutes. I got 12 minutes. No, it's like.
Do you think that somebody paying the minimum covers what a child?
I'm not saying he's doing
costs?
all he should. I'm saying that is not a financial burden on the woman. She gets custody. He doesn't get his kids, and he has to pay her not to see his kids. That's not a burden on the woman. That's a burden on the man. He's losing. He's losing money and access to his children.
So what they would do here is, if you don't pay your CSA, there's only two types of police fine or court fine that you cannot get away with here. One's council tax and one is CSA. So what will happen is it builds up and builds up and builds up. But then what happens is that woman has that financial burden at that time.
You know how she could alleviate that?
Why? How?
No, how? She could give custody to the man. and then there's no child support obligation, and she can just live her free life.
But he has no. But he has no.
Hold on.
He has
Since
no money.
they want access to the children because that's leverage, and they want to extract money from the man, then they're not giving up custody. It would be literally no burden on her if she just said, you know what, I can't afford this. Here, you take the kids. But they're not doing that.
But then you would tough to.
Hold on. Yo,
you're tough to then the women would then have to
Mick,
pay.
I'm short on time. I hate to cut you off, but I want to see a little more of this video because I haven't even watched it yet for the audience. Please.
Revolutionary whatsoever. This is all very normal. It's just a cute way of demonstrating that on social media. Here's the first example that I saw. So every one of these videos starts out with basically the same thing. Men and women are not the same, and that is a blessing. And then they go through these, he does this, she does this, and then at the end they say this is a wonderful thing. We are meant to be compatible. And my friend Allie, who I always say you guys should be following on X, she posted about this on her page, and she said, I absolutely adore this trend. Not because it shows people who clearly have an understanding of gender roles beyond his chores and her chores, but because it shows that what you bring to the table might be reciprocal, but it isn't measured in the same currency. And I love that, and it is such a beautiful way to put that. There's a lot of discourse on X about like, well, what is she bringing to the table? Well, I don't want to date a woman that's like this. I don't want to date a man like this. What is he going to give me? It's not the same for men and women, and that is intentional, and that is a good thing. Somebody else said, God really made us perfectly complementary of one another, and it is so evident in families like this one. Another person said, it's refreshing. Both genders derive so much more fulfillment out of life when they lean into their natural roles, and I completely agree with that. And then I love this comment. This guy, David, said, what's amazing is that this is considered a trend, even though it's the normal human existence for over 2 million years. Exactly.
Okay, homie. We got 9 minutes left. I want you to, and I'm going to let you speak like I promised. I'm sorry I've been cutting you off. But
right, okay.
I want to pose this question to you. You can follow up on what we were speaking on before, specifically with the child support, or you can lean into this next question. I'm going to let you have the stage for a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think that traditional gender roles are beneficial for a relationship, or is the modern way of whatever works, everything ambiguous, is that a better system? Which one, traditional or modern?
You have to, every situation is kind of different though, because if it depends, if that mother is going to make more money by going working and paying for childcare, then the modern way would be better, yeah. But if she wasn't going to make any money, certainly over here, if she wasn't going to make any money, you would get government support, you get childcare paid for, but then she's also fulfilling the role of a mother in the house. A father can do that as well, depending who makes the more money.
So you're more on the modern side, it sounds like. If I had to summarize, you would say whatever works best for that couple, which is the modern thing to do, right?
Yeah, totally.
I disagree, just because the outcome statistically, with higher divorce rates and women filing for divorce being the ones who file for divorce at a higher rate. And I'm not complaining, I'm not bitter on that end. I'm the exception. I'm the one that filed for divorce. So I'm not part of that 70 to 80% where women file. But I say it like this. Marriages tended to stay together for longer and build more stable foundations for the children, which is what we should be thinking about, not ourselves, when the more we adhere to those old school gender roles. And I'm not even like a Christian, certainly not a white Christian nationalist that espouses some of these points, but I'm just looking at the data. I'm an engineer. I'm looking at the data. Okay, when we did it this way, we got these better results. Now that we're doing it this way, we get worse results for the children, and that obviously overall affects society. We're all somebody's child, right? That fucking 80-year-old man you see at the grocery store was someone's child. So if we're raising lower quality human beings under this current system, then that to me is not a beneficial thing.
Nah, I completely disagree with that. Anybody could. every situation's different though.
The UK is too far gone. Now go ahead. Every situation is different, but what adds up to general? We got to go with the stats, right? We got to go. Anything can happen. A UFA could come and hop down land on Sacramento Airport tonight. Probably not going to happen though. So generally, we can rely on certain things. If we got better results under doing things a certain way and worse results doing things this willy-nilly freeway, why wouldn't we go back to the thing that works best? Yo, I got 5 minutes. I'm gonna let Mo tap in. What up, Mo?
What's up, CJ? I just saw you were on, so I just hopped in. I don't know, I was catching you at the end, but one thing I'll say, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here, you guys already talked about this, but I would say more often than not, it's more in today's age, even in a nuclear family, more often than not, both parents not only can work and make an income, but they have to in order to keep a family afloat. So I think one thing that your analysis is missing here is the kind of like economic burdens that make it so that type of familial situation that you're describing, where stay-at-home wife and working husband and so on and so forth, is a lot more difficult to swing. It's very difficult, as you know, in California, for someone to maintain a household on a single income. I know I personally grew up with both my parents. Both of them worked my whole entire life, and I'm a blue collar person. You know what it's like where we're from, CJ. Right. It's like the East Bay is a blue collar place. So I think that definitely the economics of it definitely works against that kind of nuclear family that you're talking about.
No. I agree. And yet, maybe you caught me midway through a point. I was just taking things to their logical extreme, because Mick was claiming that after a divorce, the financial burden transfers to the woman. And I was just saying, well, if someone's paying the other person, and I just took it to the extreme, like who's expected to take on the financial burden in a family? And then I had to go to the, I know that's not realistic nowadays. Absolutely. It's been that way since probably the 80s, 90s at least, but that both parents have to work, to your point. But no, it's just illustrating that no one expects if she can, cool. But that's not the expectation of a woman to be like the provider. That's not her role.
Could I just add in here quickly then before we finish? So if you have a divorce, then everything's split down the middle. So then if you don't have the kid for the same amount of nights, the same amount of times, pays insurance, all that kind of thing, then the burden lies on the mother.
No, again, I gave you the solution to that. Give custody to the father, and then you just take care of yourself, and you alleviate yourself of that burden. They're not going to do that because, again, the kids. Hold on. They're not going to do that. Pay. I'm going to close with this, champ, because
the women would have to pay then, CJ.
Mick.
No,
No.
Certainly happens over here.
She would not have. She would have to pay what? I'm honestly bank your point. I couldn't understand you. I got to wrap this up.
If everything's split down the middle, and they divorce, and the father gets the kids, and the father can't work, and the woman works, the woman has to then pay.
Wait. Under what scenario was the father not working? See, now you're asking the straws.
How can
okay, hypothetically, but that never ever happens. A divorce and the man suddenly just doesn't work, and the woman does.
But you just said
you're being disingenuous.
No, you said you're
gonna make me use the mute button for the first time.
You said
I don't have
give the father the kid. That's what you said.
Yes, but why would he not work?
How can he work and look after kids at the same time?
What the fuck? The same way the mother does, by outsourcing it.
And the mother has to then pay for the kid.
No, she doesn't. If she has no custody, then the father would have to put them in daycare, just like she would have to if she had them. All right. See, I'm getting a little upset. Hey, yo, it was a good chop. I'm glad. No. I gotta wrap it up. Mick,
I want you to wrap it up.
Just let me go, because I got.
We're gonna start again after this.
Well, I mean, I might help a Marco, but I got to cut it off. I can't get I'm not trying to cut it like fucking.
No, I'll get you to 2 hours.
I can't make shorts out of this shit if I go over 2 hours, and I'm literally under 2 minutes. So let me get my outro. Y'all, thanks for tapping in. Shout out to Liz. Jackie, I don't know where you were at. Kalia, hop up next time. I need more women voices on this. I didn't even get to half the topics. We were really cooking, though. And shout out to Mick and Mo, too. And Sheldon tapped in. So, like and subscribe on your way out. We're building some shit, man. I got my Lyft driver to subscribe last night. We were chopping games. So, we're going to be back on boxing next time. But for now, peace.